Hi, health coaches. This week we've got another health coaching Q&A episode for you. We're taking listener questions and riffing on them so you can learn and we can grow. Got a question? Submit it at hello@primalhealthcoach.com. Let's jump in. Hi, I'm Erin Power.
And I'm Laura Rupsis.
We're certified health coaches, and this is Health Coach Radio.
This podcast is about the art, science, and business of health coaching.
We share our insider tips to help you become a better coach and entrepreneur.
And we interview expert guests to discover how they've made it in this growing field.
It's time for health coaches to make an impact.
It's time for Health Coach Radio.
So I'm happy to be here with you for this Q&A session. I was just commenting that I am quite disorganized for today's session, and that's partly because I'm recording this on January 3rd, 2024. So if you're watching or listening to this after the fact, just know that we're at this time of life, January the 3rd, 2024, the new year. And when I tell you that this has been a very hectic week in my health coaching practice, I just need you to appreciate that we're at this time of year that we typically associate with being very busy, new year, new you time of year. And I will say that I'm experiencing that. I've been on, we're going to call them enrollment calls all day today, but also all day yesterday, and pretty much the entire last 10 days of December. So it didn't just get busy in January. It's been busy for much of December and now into January. And I have a whole bunch of calls still the rest of this week. So that's why I'm coming to you a little disheveled and disorganized for today's session. Normally when I do these Q&As, I have a great question picked out that you submitted. So Primal Health Coaches, you get to submit them to me through the link that I've shared with you. But if you're listening to this on Health Coach Radio, you can send your questions in to me at hello@primalhealthcoach.com. And any question pertinent to anything relating to health coaching, I love to answer. I've been in health coaching practice for 10 years. I've had a great deal of success and struggle along the way. So I feel like I'm equipped to handle just about anything you want to talk about from the perspective of programming, marketing, sales, enrollment, customer experience, you name it. Okay. So because I'm disheveled and disorganized today, because it's January 3rd and I've been overwhelmed by client calls, I thought, why don't I just leverage this moment and talk to you about client enrollment calls? Okay, let's just talk about it. So very off the cuff, incredibly unscripted riff on this topic. To be frank with you, I usually know what I'm going to say. I usually have a few notes jotted down, but today I don't. So we're going rogue today. So let's hope for the best. So when I talk about enrollment calls, I just want to clarify what I mean by this because it has a lot of different names. You might know it as the discovery call. You might call it an initial consultation. You might call it a sales call. You might have a name for it. You might have an internal name for it. You might have an external name. Maybe internally you refer to it as enrollment calls. Maybe externally you call it like a strategy session or something. We have names for these things. But what we're talking about here, just so we can all be on the same page, is when a client books a call with you, a prospect books a call with you. They found you somewhere. So I will talk about that. They found you. This is a prospective client. They are trying to see if you're the coach for them. And by the way, you're also trying to see if you're the coach for them. This is a two-way interview style conversation. Okay, this discovery call, this enrollment call. From here on out, I'm just going to refer to it as the enrollment call just to keep it consistent. But just so we're on the same page, we're talking about a prospect has come into your calendar. I've given talks in the past about what kind of technology to use to get prospects to book into your calendar. So please go back and listen to that. But essentially, really high level, we're looking at a booking tool, something that lives on your website or in the bio links on your social media profiles, a book now button that people can click to get into your calendar to have this conversation. Do you have the solution to their problem? That's what you want to try to find out on the discovery call, on the enrollment call. Okay. So I've been having a lot of those. I've had 4 today. I have one more today after this call. I had 4 yesterday. I had 10 last week. It's a busy time. It's exciting, right? Maybe you're not at that level yet. You don't have a full calendar yet, but like you will. I have high confidence that you will at some point, as long as you don't quit. Keep going because there are clients waiting for the specific solution that you've created. And this is living proof. The people who know me and think I might have the solution for them, they're filling my calendar currently. Now it's January 3rd. So this is almost a cliched level of busyness for January. But I just want you to know that personally, my calendar is generally this busy every month of the year. Generally, I do have random dips, merciful ones. They don't come at any predictable time. Like I said earlier, December was not quiet. November was not quiet. Randomly, September was. That's unusual. April was. Small dips, but pretty consistent. Once you get this moving, it happens pretty consistently for you. So here I am, hosting a lot of these enrollment calls. Now, what I don't have, I just want you to know what I do not have going for me. I do not have a sales background. I don't come from sales. That's not my background at all. But you don't need to. Honestly, I don't believe you need any particular sales skill or experience to enroll a perfect client in a program that you've created that solves their persistent health struggle. If you have a solution for a certain kind of person, you barely have to sell them on it. But this is an interview to figure out if you want to work with this client and do they seem like they're going to be a fit for your program. So right out the gate, I want to take the pressure off this conversation. I know it's exciting and like important for health coaches to enroll clients. That's what we're doing here, right? You want to make an impact and you want to make an income. And both of those things require you to be found by your ideal clients and then have them get into your calendar and then have you, in a manner of speaking, sell them, encourage them, enroll them into your program. So I get it. And I just want to socialize, though, that when this is really working, it's not much sales at all. So that's the good news. You don't have to have any kind of sales experience. So I was thinking about this today because I've had so many of these conversations. And I do have a framework that I follow for these calls. And I wanted to share that with you. Okay. I want to share with you the basic framework that I follow for these calls. It's very loose because I need to pick up what the prospective client is putting down. An enrollment call is a coaching call. It is coaching. And what is coaching? Coaching is always client-led. Coaching is always client-led, even on the discovery call, the enrollment call, whatever you're calling it. Okay. It's a client-led conversation. So we cannot really follow a script. I'm not sure about you, but I've been given sales scripts from business coaches and various health coaching schools and organizations that I've sort of aligned myself with. I've been given sales scripts and I've tried following them and it doesn't work because you don't get the nimbleness, the sort of give and take that this conversation needs to have. It doesn't feel client led when you're following a script. So I don't love a script, but I do love a framework. I do like a framework. So I'm going to take you through basically my framework. But first, I want to start with what I quickly jotted down on this Post-it note. The 3 C's of an enrollment call. Okay. So the 3 C's, it sounds like I have an agenda for this call, doesn't it? No, I'm flying by the seat of my pants because I've been so swamped. But I think I can do this for you guys. The 3 C's of a successful enrollment call that feels in flow, feels in integrity, feels easy, doesn't feel sleazy. Here are the 3 C's. The number 1, confidence. Confidence that you do have a solution that will work for a specific kind of person. Confidence in your expertise. Confidence in your expertise. I'm using the word expertise very intentionally. Are you an expert in something? You better be. Because no one's going to hire an amateur. No one's going to hire an amateur, but also no one's going to hire a generalist. So what is your expertise? I really do need you to narrow this down. Now, this is sort of business development 101. Okay. And I work on this with students in the Launch Your Coaching Business course. Unlike a lot of other business courses, I don't get you to start with your ideal client, your avatar client, your niche. I want you to start with you. What are you a confident expert in? A confident expert in. Now, if you answer this question with unconfident energy, if your imposter syndrome overwhelms you and you answer in the vein of, well, I'm not an expert in anything, I'm pretty new here, you need to rearrange that. That's the starting point. You need this confidence. So get very confident that you have a solution for a problem. If you don't have that confidence, then this isn't going to work. You're going to have a real hard time convincing and encouraging anyone to work with you. So I want you to confidently step into an area of expertise. What are you a world-leading expert in? Okay. For those of you listening, I just used air quotes. World-leading expert. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy to identify yourself as a world-leading expert, but you just do it. Just declare it to yourself anyway. I don't want you to put that on your website, but what do you believe you're a world-leading expert in? A long time ago, I worked my previous career was in marketing and advertising, and I had a sporting goods account, sporting goods retailer. Okay, so a big store that sells sporting goods. And it's the biggest store in the whole country that sells sporting goods. The biggest store. It's where everybody goes to buy their sporting goods, their running shoes and their hockey sticks and their tennis rackets. It's where you go to buy your snowboards and your golf clubs. It's the place. It's the place where everybody goes. And in our marketing meetings, the senior leadership was really shying away from using the word expert. Oh, we can't call ourselves the hockey experts. We can't call ourselves the golf experts. We can't call ourselves the snowboard experts. And I was thinking to myself, if we can't call ourselves the experts, who the heck is? Of course, this giant sporting goods retailer is the expert. It's the only place anybody in the country goes to get their sporting goods. So this shyness away from just a bold declaration of expertise, it's not working. Okay, let's flip the script. Let's think of another retailer. You march into the Apple store. They're geniuses. The Apple store has geniuses on the staff. I mean, are they actual geniuses? Are they Mensa level geniuses? Do you have to achieve that status to work at the Apple store? No. But they are the geniuses when it comes to Apple products, and they're standing boldly in that expertise. That's all you're doing. You're just standing boldly in an expertise. So what are you an expert in? Do you have confidence in that? That's where you need to start. If that's lacking, the entire rest of your business development efforts are going to peter out. So I want you to start with this confidence as you're developing your coaching business. And regardless of where you are at on the trajectory of your coaching business, you've been in business for a long time like I have, or you're relatively new, or anywhere in between, you must harness this confidence. You must have confidence when you get on an enrollment call with a prospective client. I am a world-leading expert in a certain solution. Now, does this prospective client have that problem? Because I can solve it if they have it. Right? That's how we're going to establish the framework of the conversation. But it starts with this confidence. What are you a world-leading expert in? What are you a genius in? Okay. Don't stress about how intense those identity statements sound. Don't shy away from them. Just step into them. I'm an expert at. Okay. Confidence is the first C of the enrollment call. Second C of the enrollment call is clarity. And clarity often unpacks from confidence. It's extremely hard to have clarity about what you do and how you do it unless you are confident that you have some kind of plan. The clarity is, do you know how to take a client through it? Do you have a program? Is there a program in place that is clear that you can explain to the client and walk them through and say, I'm going to deliver this so that you can achieve that. I will do this so that you can have that. I enroll you in my program so you can learn this. I support you in coaching relationships so you can execute that. So you can. I have this so you can. That's the clarity of your programming. Okay, so we're now moving into how do you do this? What's your program? What's your curriculum? How do people learn from you? How do they get support from you? Is there absolute clarity there? Do you know the mechanics of your own program? Have you built them yet? Okay, if you haven't built that yet, get to building. Get to building, okay? I love talking about programming. I will talk about programming any day of the week. So if you have questions about programming, hit me up. Hit me up. hello@primalhealthcoach.com. But when we talk about programming, this is, honestly, it's the thing you're selling in a manner of speaking. It's the product. It's your health coaching product, right? A tangible thing that has a price tag, has features and benefits, just like anything you might go and buy, anything you might go and invest money in, you get a tangible thing in return. That's what your health coaching clients want. That's what any consumer wants. And you know that because guess what? You're a consumer and you want the goods. You want to get something back for what you're investing, time, money, and energy. What do I get in return? So you have to have clarity around what you're delivering. And we really are talking about the tactics here. The curriculum, is this an online curriculum? Is it an online course that the client gets enrolled in? Is it a series of PDFs that they're going to be emailed? Is it a meal plan? Is it a recipe guide? Is it a workout program? Is it delivered via a mobile app? Do you have the clarity of how and what you're delivering? You want to have that, right? Because you're interviewing your prospective client and they are interviewing you. Remember, it's a two-way street. You want to make sure that they're the right person for your program, and they want to make sure that your program is the right thing for them. So do you clearly have a program, and can you clearly articulate it? I actually think that second part is really important. Practice articulating how you deliver what you deliver. And try to wrap it up into like a 2-minute, maybe at most a 3-minute little boilerplate description of how you work with people. Okay. This takes some practice, but do you have that clarity? If you don't, it's time to just go to the drawing board and start building a program, putting some plan in place. How are you taking people through their health transformation? That's programming. Do you have clarity on that? The third C of the enrollment call is coaching. The enrollment call is a coaching call. It's a client-led coaching call. Not to put too fine a point on it, but if you'd like to get better at sales and enrollment, you should work on your coaching skills, your client-led coaching skills. Okay. This is what I teach our students in the Master Coach course. That's our advanced health coaching course. We work on coaching skills exclusively. We double down on practicing the coaching conversation, the client-led coaching conversation. So we have this whole active listening paradigm, right, in the motivational interviewing realm. And by the way, this is not going to be a lesson on motivational interviewing, but a quick little primer. Active listening. I feel like on some level we all know what that is. Well, active listening in the context of motivational interviewing has an acronym that you can follow to know if you're doing it right. Okay. So the acronym is OARS. I think I've talked about this before. I love OARS. Open-ended questioning, affirmation, reflection, and summary. OARS. That's a really good methodology to follow for active listening, but there's a lot more to it as well. There's a lot more to it, but let's just go with that. Are you encouraging the client down this conversation? Are you having them think and feel and emote and reflect by asking open-ended questions that come from a place of curiosity? Let me tell you about my friend Carolyn. She's an athlete with a passion for health. She'd been health coaching friends, families, strangers, not even knowing it was a thing. She just felt called to help other people live their healthiest lives. Then she discovered the Primal Health Coach certification program, and she went from feeling like an imposter to belonging to an amazing community of like-minded health pros. Confident and finally able to enjoy a fulfilling and profitable career doing exactly what she loves. Carolyn is one of thousands of certified primal health coaches living their best lives and helping their clients do the same. The Primal Health Coach Institute offers a variety of health and fitness certifications and specializations. Our graduates are practicing unique coaching specialties and changing lives in countries all over the world. We're always growing and evolving, so come grow with us. Visit primalhealthcoach.com to check out our courses and offerings. So, evocative, curiosity-inspired questions to get the client thinking about why they're on this call. Why now, right? What is present for them? Why did they book this call? What is their vision of what this looks like when it's working? So start asking these kinds of questions. I'm going to share a little bit more about that as I get into my framework here in just a moment. But selling is absolutely coaching. So you don't even have to worry about learning your sales skills. Great news. You don't have to go take a sales course. But if you're not confident in your coaching ability, I would work on that. Now, if you attended our coaching school or anybody's coaching school, hopefully they taught you how to do that somewhere in the coursework, right? We did. For sure, Primal Health Coach Institute, we do. A really great way to get better at coaching is to practice, because it's a physical embodiment. It's a physical embodiment practice, just like learning to play the violin, right? You have to actually physically do it to get better at it, right? It's like a kinesthetic practice. You have to really get into it and practice having the words come out of your mouth. And it's going to be really clunky at first, just like learning anything new, any new physical practice that you learn, you're terrible at immediately. So just be okay with that and practice more and practice more and practice more. You'll get good at what you practice. And if you don't practice, you're not going to get good at it, quite frankly. So you decide. You can either practice with your friends and peers, or you can be practicing on your enrollment calls, which is going to result in some pretty clunky enrollment calls. So over time, you'll get much better at this. But I just need you to know you don't have to have any special sales abilities to do this. Okay. So I want to just finish this quick unscripted moment by taking you through the framework of my my enrollment calls, because I've had a lot of them. And I don't know if you can tell, I'm a little fried actually, because they're quite sort of energetically demanding. You are holding space for a stranger. And a coaching conversation, if you're doing it right, it does have a lot of empathy built into it. So, you're leaning in with this empathetic energy, seeking to understand the person's frustrations and fears, their wants and dreams. And it can take a lot out of you, right? In fact, just before I jumped on this call, I went to lie down for 10 minutes. I do this all the time. This is a little hack for you. If you're getting into a busy season, please schedule in some mental, emotional, and spiritual rest so that you can be at your best for these folks who are waiting. They're excited to see if you have the solution to their persistent health problem. They're very, very excited. They're hopeful as well. So I want you to show up to these calls with this great capacity for empathy and curiosity, non-judgment, all of the beautiful sort of qualities that coaches bring to the table. Okay. So when I do my coaching calls, first of all, logistically speaking, I do them on Zoom unless the client requests a phone call. So I have a whole, in my booking process, I have a field that says, by default, this will be done on Zoom video. If you would prefer a telephone call, click here and please provide your phone number. And, out of every 50 enrollment calls, I have one or two of them wants to do it on the phone, which is fine. But I like to do them on Zoom because then I can sort of have this face-to-face moment with clients. And by the way, that's extremely draining as well. Being face-to-face with people on a screen is, very, very draining. So definitely set your calendar up in such a way that you have moments to decompress and re-energize so you can be really, really present for these calls. But it's been very special to make this move to video conferencing for these calls, because I always used to only do them on the phone. But now I'm having actually meaningful sort of almost eye contact with these folks, and they're having emotional experiences, and I can see them and hold space for them while they're doing that. Because it's very emotional for people to be on these calls sometimes. They've been battling this health concern for a really long time, and they're quite hopeful that you maybe have a solution for them. You just want to know that they booked the call because they have hope. They didn't book the call thinking, boy, this coach is going to try to sell me something. They think you might have the solution for their problem. So I want you to enter the call with that energy. Okay, this is sort of like, we're kind of evoking the idea here of detaching from the outcome, high intention, low attachment. Maybe you've heard that described before. What does that even mean? Well, high intention is meeting this client with their hope. They booked the call with hope. And I want you to meet their level of hope. They're here because they think you can help. I want you to be there because you think you can help. High intention to help. Low attachment to the outcome of enrolling them. Because if it's not a hell yes for that client, for whatever reason, time, energy, money, maybe you and they don't vibe, which is, if it's not a hell yes, then it has to be a no, and you have to be okay with that, because you don't want to work with somebody who's anything less than a hell yes. So high intention, low attachment, your client booked the call with hope. They don't think you're a sleazy salesperson. They think you're potentially their hero, their health hero. So please enter the call with that energy. So logistically, I'm doing this on Zoom. I don't take detailed notes while I'm on the call with my clients, but I do tell them, when I'm setting up the call, which I want to talk about in a second, I do tell my clients that my prospects that I will be taking notes just so they don't find that distracting. But just between you and me, I don't take a ton of notes. I'm going to tell you exactly what notes I do take. So we start the call by setting the stage. So I'll say, "Hi, Sally, I'm Erin. It's nice to meet you. We're going to go through this conversation, and I really want to get clear on whether I have the solution for the struggle that you have. So I want to understand what you're struggling with. I'm going to talk about my solution, and we'll see if there's a match there. If there isn't, then I'll let you know that I don't have the solution for your problem, and maybe I'll help you find somebody who can help you. If I do think I have the solution for your problem, I'm going to take you all the way through how I help work with people, and we'll see if there's any magic there that you want to proceed with. How does that sound?" And Sally will say, "That sounds great." I'll say, "Awesome." So really what I'm going to do for the next 15 minutes or so is kind of guide you through an assessment to see and learn what it is you want to achieve. And while I'm doing that, I will be taking some notes just to keep track of that. Does that sound okay? Sally says yes. Just check in with your client a lot to make sure that they're following you. So right out the gate, we start by setting the stage. That's going to help you keep your call organized, but it also helps them feel like they're being taken care of by a professional. So please do that. I start by asking the client to tell me why they're on the call right now, in a manner of speaking. I'll say, "Okay, I want to understand sort of the timeline of your health struggles, where you've been, where you want to go, but I want to start with right now. Why are you on this call right now? What's present for you right in this moment that encouraged you to book this call today and not 6 months ago or not 6 months from now? I want to know what is important. Why is this important? First of all, is it important? Is this important enough for them that they showed up, they booked this call, they showed up, they're excited for it, and why is it important?" We're trying to get a sense of importance, right? So the client will take you through, like, "I'm on this call because I'm at my wit's end, or I'm ready for change, or I'm excited for change, or this is a time in my life when things are improving and I want to improve in all areas." You're going to find a lot of different reasons why people are on the call, from the sort of depressing to the encouraging and everything in between, right? People are at very different stages, right? They might be completely, "This is my last straw," or they might be feeling very motivated and inspired, but you just want to find out kind of where they're at. And is it important to them? How important is it right now? Because, gang, if it's not important right now, if they could wait for 6 months or another 2 years, they're probably not going to say yes to you. And honestly, I would encourage you not to say yes to them either. You want people who are ready to move now, right? And it's just it's a nice timeline to anchor to the present. Very easy to figure out. Okay. Then you want to get a good sense of what the goal is. So we jump in our time machine, and now we want to move to some point in the future. Sometimes what I've been doing lately is framing this from the perspective of, okay, it's 3 years in the future, and we worked together 3 years ago, right? And we solved all your problems. It's all working. Tell me what life is like when it's working. Tell me what success looks like. You might shorten that interval to maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. That's nice. But some point in the future that they can actually think of, right? If we say, "What's your 5-year, 10-year, 20-year plan here?" That's just really too hard to think about. We got to sort of shrink the interval, have them look ahead to what success looks like, and have them articulate to you what it's like when they're successful. So we have a sense of what they're looking to achieve, because we need to help our clients achieve their goals. So what is that goal? For example, I work in the weight loss space. So my clients are always talking about weight loss. But what it looks like for them is almost always, "I fit into the cute clothes in my closet." Cool. Great. I love that. It's so quantifiable, right? The clothes that are in your closet. Later on in the call, I'll say, "Hey, what size are those clothes in your closet that you want to fit into? And what size are you now?" "Oh, those are a 6'8", and you're currently a 14, 16. Okay. So we're looking at maybe 4 pant sizes." Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that, right? So I have a little quantification, but they are talking about it in terms of, this is all working. Everything in my closet fits. I feel confident when I see pictures of myself. I feel confident to go out into the world and take big steps in my career, in my life, whatever. People can really start to paint a picture of how their health outcomes affect the whole big picture of their life if we encourage them to do this sort of future casting thought experiment. But ultimately, we do need to know what success looks like for them, because you either can or cannot help people achieve that goal. So if somebody does this vision exercise and they say, "Oh, my Hashimoto's is in remission," in 3 years. Well, I don't do that. I don't offer to do that. So if that's the goal, oh, your Hashimoto's is in remission. You know what, Sally? I actually don't have a solution for that, but I have a ton of peers who can help you support yourself through Hashimoto's. So I'll hook you up with some great resources here. It's been nice meeting you. Have a good day. By the way, if I get a sense that the client's not like a perfect fit for me, I end the call as soon as I can because I don't have time, right? I got a busy business and also they don't have time. They got to go find somebody who's going to help them. It's a courtesy, right? Clear as kind. So we've got a sense of where they are now, their importance. This is important for me right now because we have a sense of what their goals are going to look like. While they're talking, and we're leaving so much space. So this is where you're practicing your active listening. You're asking open-ended questions, letting the client talk and talk and talk and reflecting back what they're saying and maybe asking for more. Tell me more about that. What do you mean by that? Right? Well, that's an interesting turn of phrase. I'm curious, what do you mean when you say comfortable in my own skin? This is a conversation I have quite a lot because my clients, that's one of their goals is they want to feel comfortable in their own skin, but I don't know what that means for them. Right? I have no idea what that means. Even though I hear it every single day from different people, I'll say, wow, you want to feel comfortable in your own skin? That's interesting. Can you tell me more about what that means for you? And then they'll explain what that feels like when they're comfortable in their own skin, as an example. So ask for more, ask for more. This chunk of the conversation will go by quicker than you think. Just by asking these couple questions, where are you now? Where do you want to be? So here's where we are now. Here we are in our time machine 3 years from now. Now, what is the gap in between those 2 points on the continuum? Do you have the expert solution for that? So that's where you got to go back to your previous 2 C's. Do you confidently have the solution that fills this gap? And can you clearly articulate how you'll help get from now to that future outcome? That's what you're trying to find out. Okay. So you might have to ask a few more questions depending on your area of expertise. I'm not going to get too much into the weeds of that, but like, for example, because I work on people with food, I only work on people with food. I don't work on supplements or exercise or anything like that. We just change their diet. I need to know how they're eating currently. Take me through a typical day of eating. So they do take me through that. And if I can pick up that there's an obvious change we can make to how and what they're eating that will immediately help them start moving toward their goal, I'll say, I got great news. I have the solution for you. Let me tell you how it works. And then I get into my clear articulation of the logistics of my coaching relationship. So I talk about, here's how long it is. Okay, it's 6 months long. You'll be enrolled in my online curriculum. That's where you're going to learn my protocol. It's supported by weekly open coaching calls. I host open coaching calls 5 days a week. By the way, this is just an example of my programming. You do you. Open coaching calls. We do weekly check-ins. We have one-on-one monthly phone calls, you and me. The whole end goal here is to teach you a way of eating that supports, effortless, epic metabolic health, but also sets you up to sustain it for the rest of your life. How does that sound? That's a very quick rendition of how I might do that part of the conversation. But I say it with enough excitement so that they're able to observe that the things that they struggled against and honestly failed with before failed them because they didn't have the education, they didn't have the accountability, they didn't have the support of an expert on their team, they didn't have a coach. That's actually a neat question to ask. Hey, have you ever worked with a coach before? Sometimes I'll throw that in the initial sort of getting to know you part of the conversation, because a lot of people haven't. They've done programs, but they've never worked with a coach in a partnership. And it's completely exciting to explain to them, here's why this is different. Here's why this is different than Optavia, for example. That program told you kind of what to eat. It gave you the shakes, it gave you the parameters, but you didn't have somebody on your team working directly with you to move you through the difficulty of execution. That's what a coach does. That's what's different about a coaching relationship. People get pretty excited to imagine they're going to have a partner in this. So this is all done through a coaching conversation. You're not in sales mode, you're in coach mode. Okay. But you got to start with the confidence that you have an area of expertise and the clarity of your program. And I'm going to circle back to this Launch Your Coaching Business course that I teach. When I put this course together, I went in that order. That's the order that we go in. If you're going to launch a coaching business, so for anybody who's listening, who's brand new, this is your year, 2024 is your year. And you're thinking, man, this lady's talking about having a packed call calendar. I'm worlds away from having a packed call calendar. Well, I want you to start with this. If you're here to launch your coaching business, you have to start with your expertise, and then you have to build a program that delivers your expertise. If you don't have those 2 things, then the rest of this whole sort of sales funnel ceases to exist. Right? If you don't have an expertise, if you don't have a message that you can put out that people get excited by, if you don't have a thing to sell people, then you can't get onto a sales call, an enrollment call. There's frankly nothing to sell. You have to have a thing to sell, a tangible thing. Because health consumers don't necessarily want health. You can't go out there and sell health or gut health or lowering inflammation or whatever. They really do want a system, a product. The woman who I spoke to earlier today, she kept using the word plan. Are you going to give me a plan? I felt a little bit of a chill go down my spine because I thought she meant meal plan. And I won't do those ever. But what she meant was like, is there a structure for me to just lean into here? Is there something that I can tangibly sink my teeth into so that I can start moving? Yes, there is. I do have a plan. I have an online curriculum which is going to teach you how to make these changes in your life. And you're going to work with me so we can sort of spin wrenches on it, adjust and renegotiate it so that it works in your life in any scenario. Right? So we have the educational plan, which is the course, and we have the execution plan, which is the coaching relationship. But people want a plan. They really do want something tangible most of the time. So you have to have something like that. Okay. So before you think about who your ideal client is and what kind of car do they drive and what kind of a house do they live in, which is important to know as well. You should know your client, but you got to know yourself first, and you have to have a solution. And when you have those things and you know how to coach, you feel confident in your ability to coach, enrollment calls are incredibly simple. And if it helps to excite you, in the last 10 days, I've had 15 enrollment calls. And I've sold 11 of them. 4 people still thinking about it. I just spoke with them yesterday and today. 11 out of 15 said yes. They couldn't say no because I have the solution for their struggle. That's all they want. That's all they want. I've shared this anecdote with you before, but I'll do it again just as a parting thought. Maybe you can relate or find some, maybe you can find some, instance in your life where this rings true for you. But a long time ago, I had a very sore neck. I injured my neck doing something stupid in the gym. And it was just a pain that I could not live with. It was excruciating pain constantly for months on end, radiating pain. There was no relief. I couldn't move my body anyway. There was no stretch I could do, ice, meds, nothing touched it. Plus, I didn't really want to medicate, but nothing was touching this pain. I couldn't get any relief from it. And it was really ruining my life. Like I couldn't go on another minute with this pain in the neck. Well, I went to all the usual suspects. I went to the doctor. Doctor didn't have any advice for me, but encouraged me to go see a physiotherapist. So I went to a physiotherapist, physical therapist. A physiotherapist sent me to a massage therapist. I went to an osteopath. I went to a chiropractor. Nothing helped. I got so desperate that I was seeking anybody who had any wacky solution for a pain in the neck. If you were selling an essential oil out of the trunk of your car that might heal my neck, I would buy it. If you were going to do some kind of like voodoo magic that was going to fix my neck, I'm in. I would open my wallet, fix me. I don't care. Let's do it. I wanted anybody who had a solution to my problem. And I finally found somebody who did fix it using a craniosacral treatment, which I'd never had done before. And frankly, don't even understand how it works. But I don't care because this person fixed my pain in my neck. 10 out of 10, emergency. I need this solved now. I cannot go another minute without this. And if you can find that, if you can find the person who cannot go another minute without your solution, there's no selling required here. They want it. Do you have it? Have you made it? Does it exist? Can you speak to it confidently and clearly? And can you hold beautiful client-led coaching space for this person while they tell you why this is so important for them, what their life looks like when they finally achieve this goal? Can you just be there for them and offer this expert bespoke solution for them? If you can, there's no selling required here. There's no need to overcome objections. There's no need to feel like you got to get into sleazy car salesman mode. It's one of the most effortless, beautiful exchanges of energy that you can possibly have. And it's really fun. So sales can be fun. Enrollment can be easy. Trust and believe. I hope this is helpful. Let me know what you thought. We'll see you soon. This podcast was brought to you by Primal Health Coach Institute. To learn more about how to become a successful health coach, get in touch with us by visiting primalhealthcoach.com/call. Or if you're already a successful health coach, practitioner, influencer, or thought leader with a thriving business and an interesting story, we'd love to hear from you. Connect with us at hello@primalhealthcoach.com and let us know why we need to interview you for Health Coach Radio. Thanks for listening.